computer. Hello, everybody. This is long ago Rick DiClemente back with you once again on uh, Astrology Unplugged. As you know, I've been off sick for several weeks, and it's really good to be back. I want to take this time to give a very special thank you to Rick and to Claudia for sitting in. And I watched the shows, and they weren't just adequate, they really did a good job. And that's not easy. And I tip my hat to you. And I really appreciate you being ready, willing, and able to sit in for me, especially tonight, because I may not have the energy, and in which case we'll go to you too. Now, I did want to tell you, I don't know if you'll all remember my very good friend, Michael Weir, who's been on this show many times. He is a psychologist and a regressionist, nicest guy in the world. Well, we lost him a couple days ago, and I don't know what happened, and I don't want to know. I saw him about 2 weeks ago. He had a major breakup with a woman. He was so ultra depressed. I couldn't even get part of his personality to come out. He was just gone. And everything I asked him was, I don't know. I don't know. And it's very sad. I talked to the girl tonight who broke up with him. She's devastated too. And I don't want to know how he died. It's his business. He was only about 52. So I'll miss him greatly because he was just one of a kind. One of a kind. Anyhow, this stuff's going on with everybody, and I put it to Liza tonight. What's causing all this stuff? And she pretty much shot back straightforward to me that this is Pluto in Aquarius. And I really had trouble with that until the more I thought about it, and I think she's right. So
Yes.
some heavy stuff is going on, and it's because Pluto's in a new sign. Yes, I did come down with cancer about the 22nd of April, and luckily we caught it early. And still, they put me through so many tests and trials and poke this and poke that. And anyhow, I had wonderful doctors, wonderful hospital, wonderful nurses, and they were big help. So,
Pittsburgh is a great place to be when you need the health care.
well, they wouldn't let me sleep, but there was a wonderful Ruby Hospital in Morgantown. And anyhow, they took good care of me. They got it all. They had to remove some part of the gallbladder and etc. But anyhow, they didn't have to remove any of the brains.
Yeah.
So, Peggy, that's a good sign. Anyhow, I'm very glad to be back. Please put up with me tonight because I'm really slow, and thank Rick for coming by just in case I stumble. I've been meaning to talk to you about this topic for quite a while, which is why we kill each other. And it happens to be one of my favorite topics, and people get all gruesome about it. Ooh! It's just another astrological topic to me.
Right.
Why astrologically do people kill each other? And I find a lot of truth in it. And I've studied thousands of cases. of why people kill each other. I happen to watch a lot of crime shows, and I'm fascinated with the charts of the killer and the victim. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Hey, I'll give you the answers that I have tonight, and you can chew on them. By all means, leave your sun sign at the door. Don't get all hung up on your sun sign is the killer. It's not how it works. But I want you to study just like we always do and get to the essence of these signs, and you'll learn why a lot of this goes on. We're going to follow along two major routes that I have found when we look at killers. And it's interesting to find out that the victims, the biggest victims are, and I've studied, and I agree with a lot of other astrologers who have the same study. They come up with the same thing. You know, who the biggest victims are the Tauruses.
Hmm.
Oh, great.
Oh, stop it, Deborah! You didn't last 5 minutes. And I really think it's because they are very trusting, they're very open, and people love being with them because they have such nice energy. And I think that they are, in a lot of ways, too trusting. I think the second biggest victim in the zodiac are the Pisces.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pisces, they just have a mess of everything.
Another trusting sign.
Yes, that's right. First night I've ever drunk coffee while online.
You can do whatever you want.
It's my show, and I'm going to. And I haven't kept up with everything, putting it all on YouTube, but that's just how it is till I get back. Meanwhile, our traveling astrologer, Claudia, is with her father in El Salvador. So we're wishing her the best of her trips. And as you know, just a week or two ago, she lost her mother. So a lot of stuff is going on. Now we're going to talk about murder, killing people. Why do people do it? Now I'm going to go down two paths right away. Without a doubt, and I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm pretty sure. Without a doubt, murder shows up all the time in the charts of those who have heavy involvement in this area. Cancer, Leo. That doesn't mean Cancer sun sign, doesn't mean Leo sun sign, but they have a lot of Cancer, Leo energy in that chart. And that area is usually greatly exaggerated at the time. The Cancer, I'm pretty certain, is because nobody loves me. They're ready to pitch me overboard. They're ready to exclude me. And so there. And I really think that's what it is. They're willing to do that to me. Yeah. Well, I'm willing to do that. Back to them. Now, I don't make this stuff up. But it doesn't mean Cancer, Leo, sun sign, but it means a plethora of those energies. And the Cancers really get, how do I put it? If you screw a Cancer over, they are hurt so deeply. There's no way to discuss it. They are hurt so deeply that anything is recourseable. How's that for a word? They have the recourse to do anything they want because they justify being hurt so deeply as any kind of repercussions. Now, the other one I'm finding, and we're going to get to a linear list here in a moment. The other one that's really in a similar vein are the Leos. And certainly a lot of Leos are just wonderful, great, powerful people. But a lot of Leo people feel disrespected. There's your reason. When you're when you're disrespected, I don't care what I gotta do to you. All game is fair. Now, certainly Rick and certainly Claudia are much higher dimensions of Leo. But I'm telling you, when you look at a lot of people who did the killing and you examine their chart, those two areas are really, really strong in the chart. It usually comes from other areas also. Now, it's from being dissed. On both sides, it's from being dissed. Now, I have done linear lists of sun signs who are more likely to kill versus the bottom of the list. And I've compared it to many, many, many other astrologers, and the lists match. So I'm quite sure of what I'm talking about. Now, number one on the list, who kills more than anybody? Gemini. Without a doubt. Why? Because they objectify things. 2, because it's neat. 3, because they want to sense what it's like to do it. 4, they're known for not having a lot of deep emotions. Lot of reasons. Lot of reasons. And of course, there are many, many millions of Geminis that don't, but they're clearly number one on the list. Number 2, the four mutable signs. Number 2, Sagittarius. Why? Because it's fun. I'm not BSing you. I'm giving you the best of thousands of charts that I've studied. That doesn't mean all the Sages are having fun. Let's go knock off somebody tonight. But I'll tell you what, when you follow in a Sag and you insert that reason that maybe it'll be fun, let's see what we can get away with. There's your number 2 sign. And it's not far at all behind number 1. Gemini Sag, look at that. Now, remember Sag is the sign that has no self-control. It's the sign that makes excuses, so is Gemini. Makes excuses for whatever it does. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. You're taking it too seriously. You're taking it too seriously. Well, I'm telling you, on everybody's list, Sagittarius number 2. Now, of course, don't be stupid. Of course, there are millions of really good Sagittarius and millions of really good Geminis, but I'm giving it to you list from the top down. I've studied this greatly. You're going to be shocked at some of these people on this list. I keep modifying it through time. Sagittarius also sometimes make a game out of murder. Make a game out of it. Pull off the perfect murder. but it surprised me that it was found so high. Number 3, Virgos.
What?
I know, Peggy. I saw you do it with the rope in the library with Colonel Mustard. Virgos. Now, this is a really intriguing sign. This is because when they become emotionally shut off, they become emotionally shut off. And when they become emotionally shut off, they have the reason. It's reasonable for them. They have the okay to do what they gotta do. And also, remember, Virgos can't stand whiners. They just can't stand whineries.
Right.
Of course, they don't all go killing, but I'm not shocked at all to find them third. They use it as valid excuses to be mean. A lot of Virgos find reasons to be mean, whether it's to animals or to the family. Virgo can be a very, very tough sign. Now, I have found Virgos to be wonderful people for the most part, and very upright, honest, loving, etc., etc. But when you put the 12 in front of you and you start moving the 12 around, you're going to end up with a list like this. Number 4, Pisces. Pisces will shock you. It is unbelievable how many murderers are Pisces. It's unbelievable. A lot of it is because they just don't care. They've had everything go wrong in their life that they could possibly go wrong. And they get into this this healthy I don't care turns into this unhealthy I don't care. And it can be really, really dangerous. Alcoholics, criminals. There's nobody like Pisces criminals. Nobody. There are no more criminals than in the sign of Pisces. And I don't know why all the answers are. I don't know why. A lot of it's because when you base your life on not caring, what do you think the world does to you? It doesn't care about you. Now, please be very patient with me. There are many, many other signs that can preempt these, but in essence, these are the top 4, and they're all mutable. What's that mean? Mutable means you have less control. All 4 of the signs that have the least control are the top 4 signs. You figure Capricorn would be up there because they're mean and tough and gruff. They're down about 9th.
Yeah, I believe that.
Scorpio's about 11.
Wow.
Once you're dead, they'll get you dead, a Scorpio, but they're not in the top 3. They're down about 11.
Hmm.
Now, the next sign has surprised me, but I've worked with Liza on this, and this sign has definitely worked up to the 5th position. And I've seen it enough. Aquarius. Aquarius is about 5th, and that's because when they're shut off emotionally, they are shut off emotionally. And I don't know about you folks, but if you ever try to talk an Aquarian into something, forget it. They're really, really hard-headed. They got their reasons. And to kill somebody, you have to have a sense inside of, okay, you've pushed me over the limit, and okay, I'm now verified of what I'm about to do. And I think that's where Aquarius comes from. Also, I think Aquarius and Virgo, I think those are the two signs that really want to play with pulling off the perfect murder.
Hmm.
When you watch them, you look and see all the machinations that they go through. It's very intriguing. Now, I really don't know where to go after Aquarius, but I definitely feel pretty good about the first five. The zodiac is a weird place, but number 1 and 2 really make a lot of sense when I was looking at Cancer and Leo. When they get dissed, they feel qualified to do anything they want to do. When you have screwed them, they take that affrontage so seriously. They look out. Now let's stop here for a moment. Does any of this surprise you?
Mm-mm.
Come on, speak up for me. I'll turn my fan up.
I know what you mean about Virgo. I mean, I'm not a killer, but
Of course you don't.
I get very angry, and people who have pushed me all the way end up staying away from me. They know they better not come near me, and they're afraid of me. I've had maybe 2 or 3 people in my life. They're just down rotten people, and my anger is too much for them. They know they better
That
stay
comes from
away.
your Leo. That's not coming from your Virgo.
I have a lot of Leo.
Yeah, well,
I have Venus, Mars, Pluto, and another one. And the Mars Pluto is conjunct my midhaven. And
let me
I
tell
can
you something. If you ever want to piss off a Leo woman, don't do it. If you ever want to see a woman that's pissed off, don't piss off a Leo woman. Okay? Just don't do it. Because, a lot of these inherent archetypal patterns that we're given, they're really major, major gifts. And the Leo gift of, I'm not wrong, it's got to be you. That's a really major thrusting gift. I don't know about you guys, but I really like Rick, and Rick is really a very mild friend of mine. But I don't want to piss him off. I don't want to piss him off. I
As
don't
far
want
as
to
the
piss off.
Cancer and the Leo, I'm going to throw something in there. When they function from the higher part of their character, they have this fierce loyalty. And to go ahead and violate loyalty
Oh,
or endanger or threaten people they care about, I can see a mama Cancer snapping, or a friend, coach, father, Leo taking someone out, because that's a threat in the distance. It's not getting any closer.
also, if you threaten somebody's a Leo friend's dignity.
Because they think about the pride, the tribe, and you just don't violate that.
You just is exactly right. Now, forgive me if I've gone overboard, but I wanted to share this with you because I spent so much time analyzing this for many years, at least 30 years, that I wanted to share with you my findings, and I'm open to hearing about what you find. But those are the ones. Those are the ones. Likewise, Libra is going to fall near the bottom.
I actually know somebody who, I don't know how to put this. Let's just say that they would be in your category and they were not a victim. Although circumstances forced some victimhood on them for a period of years, and then they exacted some revenge. And this was a person with a Sun-Pluto conjunction in Cancer and a moon in Aries and Mars in Aries.
Highly impulsive.
Now
Oh.
you're talking.
Except they were not impulsive. They were careful planners of everything they did. They did not do or say anything without thinking it through over and over. This was a brilliant individual who operated from a basis of strategy always. He was a chess player.
That makes sense why you led off with the Sun-Pluto conjunction.
He was powerful, quiet, powerful, and potentially dangerous. Well, for some
carry a
counter.
big stick.
Yeah, he had been a prisoner of war and then stuck around afterwards to find, identify, and do away with some of the people that were responsible for torture.
Look at the state of Israel with 5 planets in Leo at the top of the chart. You think they're going to back off from Palestine? 5 planets in Leo at the top of the chart. There's no reason to even discuss it. I'm not going to go pro or con. I understand what the Jewish people have been through. But when you get a chart like that, anyhow, I want to change the subject now. Back to the original subject that we started talking about with Liza and I. You got 11 minutes, kitty cat. What the hell is going on? What's going on is Pluto is in Aquarius. And Eris is in Aries. So Pluto is in Aquarius. Now, when Pluto's in Aquarius and we're being required to give a lot of thought to getting out of the mindset of Pluto in Capricorn, thank God. When Pluto's in Aquarius, it sets up a natural default argument between my ideas and your ideas. I mean, this is the natural argumentative sign that there is. This and possibly Libra. But it's a really hard-headed sign. I've worked hard to paint the picture of how everything is, and that's how it is. when you look at a lot of the crashing and bashing going on between different facilities and different groups and different countries. I mean, a lot of these folks they're just never wrong.
Mhm.
And I don't know about you, but I see them being wrong all the time. And being wrong is not even the issue anymore. So we need something milder to inject itself into the system. Are we going to get that when Pluto goes into Pisces? Quite possibly. Well, while Pluto is in Aquarius, we're going to have Eris and Aries. That's 20 more years. What you think there, Sean?
Repeat the last thing you said. I just got back here. I just got off the road, but I was listening.
Well, okay. What do you think about Pluto and hard-headedness about being in the sign of Aquarius?
Maybe they won't be so hard headed, really. I mean, I know our Aquarius, I guess, tend to be argumentative. To I heard you say earlier, but what I'm realizing is Aquarius pretty much let both sides of the story, accepts both sides of the story. I kind of find that to be in very often nowadays. Like they
Yeah,
accept
that's
you
a
as you
very
are, pretty much.
admirable quality that they have, yes.
Yeah. So I'm saying if Pluto's in there, that's why I calculated it like that. Hopefully.
What do you think is going to happen when Pluto goes into Pisces?
When Pluto goes into Pisces now, you can't really call it. It's kind of like the main event. You just gotta wait and see. But you can think. You could think. You could think what you want, but you might never hit it. You know.
It's
Yeah.
going to be a wild one.
Yeah. But you're in good hands. Tell you the truth.
What do you think, Rick?
I think it would be interesting to go back and look at history and look at what was happening when Pluto ingressed into Pisces to see how that was globally doing things. And certainly, I think we can look at when it was going into Aquarius. We see a lot of things that coincided with the
Good feeder.
discovery of Uranus.
Oh,
So that might be hard to separate, but isn't it interesting that Uranus ends up being the modern ruler of Aquarius? So I think there's a lot of recognition that people get tired of the way things were. The Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happened at the time of the storming of the Bastille. I know that was one of the things that was uncovered when doing the research into that issue. There's Uranus in Aquarius, or Taurus, I think it was at the time. So Uranus was definitely outraged. And that happens to be what Aquarians experience. I think the Aquarian mindset is to be reasonable. And when faced with unreasonability, it frazzles the nerves. And that's what makes someone snap.
Good point, yeah.
I'm curious what some of the other folks think too.
Yeah, rest of you guys. Come on, Erica.
Oh, you're still on mute, Erica.
I must say I cheated and I looked it up, and it was around the time of clairvoyance and mesmerism and hypnosis and stuff like that the last time.
As far as what?
Pluto in Pisces in history, in past history.
Oh, okay.
Linda,
There you go. I couldn't unmute. I kept hitting it and it wouldn't go. Well, I'm thinking back to a class. I think you'll remember this class we had years ago where it was right after the tsunami hit. And that was when Neptune went into Pisces.
Hmm.
Do you remember that?
oh
And
yeah, yep.
And one of the things, that class stuck with me for a long time because it's like reading Cosmos and Psyche. You start to understand that these sort of large world events move along these same lines as the planetary energies. And once you understand that, I think it changes how, at least for me, it changes how I look at everything. But I'm looking at Pluto going into Pisces, and I'm thinking, if what Pluto does is check out your basement and see if you've done your work and all of that, Pisces is that spiritual plant, it's that spiritual sign. Like, are we at the end of our development? Have we gone through all those stages? Are we open to God, or are we in the delusional side of Pisces where it's drugs of, and I don't mean just like illegal drugs. I mean the ways people self-medicate and drug themselves and avoid things. And I'm thinking that Pluto is probably going to rip up a lot of shit. And it's going to be ripping up a lot of shit in a lot of people, depending upon where, where that is in your chart. And, but I think that, to me, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be, the big checkup time to see, are we spiritually based, or are we delusional? That's all I got.
Beautiful
Well,
thought.
that's a very, go ahead, Rick.
I really like that because the Piscean rulership by Neptune really has that razor's edge. You could have surrender to the divine, or giving someone over to sex, drugs, and rock and roll, delusion, liars, cheats,
Too much
thieves.
TV,
What's that?
too much TV,
Yeah, escapism of another sort.
What's
You
happening?
you take a look at modern America
Yeah.
and go flipping through the channels, and you'll see where people's mindsets are. It's what we're thinking about. And I don't know about you, but it doesn't add up to a whole lot. And it really worries me when we've got really bigger fish to fry. And we've got wonderful people everywhere that need to work together. And we've got this illusion that we've got all this time.
no.
And I don't think we do. It's frightful. Come on, Peggy, we got hands on the face here, which is concern, hands on the face, concern. What do you think?
Well, I think we're all going down the road already. I mean, I can't see anything good, a lot of good lately. It's all this argument or this or that. And the other thing is, I noticed Uranus being in Taurus is squaring my Pluto and my Mars and Aquarius, and I've been having all kind of things, awful things happen. I
Okay,
mean,
now
I always look at it personally,
now that
but I'm
you're
not.
excuse me, now that you're going through all this Pluto squaring stuff, what does it make you feel like doing?
Shedding everything I'm doing, starting something new, and moving to a condo.
Yeah.
I've had people nearly run me over. I cut myself with a hedge trimmer. I can't do anything because my fingers ripped up. And it's just like I feel like I'm being attacked for no
Well, let me
reason.
stop you there. Let me stop
No,
you there and give you
okay.
something that Liza and I do. And I think it's really critical that you adopt this right away. Before
Okay.
you go out in the daytime, say, I do not deserve anything untoward to happen to me.
Okay.
It's really important.
Well, I mean,
Mm.
I don't even look for this stuff, and it just shows up.
Yeah, but
And
see, all that stuff doesn't matter. Whether you look for it or not, it's all the same game. It's all the same thing. But it's all going to happen. If you think if you think you deserve it, you're going to get it.
well, I don't think I
If
deserve.
you think you don't deserve it, you're not going to get it.
Okay, so just
I'm just
okay.
making you
It's like a
aware.
system. You just have to work it.
Yeah,
Yes.
making you aware. You don't deserve any of this untoward stuff to happen to you. But what I'm getting at is with you is when these big planets are on you, they're going to make you feel aggressive.
I try not to be, but yes.
Oh yeah, but see, there's a good aggressive and
Yeah.
there's a bad aggressive.
Right. It's
There's
making
a
me.
very good aggressive. That's
Mhm.
what we need to own. That good aggressive can be really life affirming.
Okay.
Like a transformation as opposed to an ending.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
am. I am going through a transformation. I'm just trying to pick what I want to transform to at this point in time, and I'm trying to push away everything I don't need right now and look at what I do need and be happy and go that way. I am doing that.
That's very
But,
good.
but I'm
Very
saying,
good. But don't get caught in that Virgo misinterpretation that aggression is bad. Because not.
okay. Well, what I was saying is Taurus is also messing with Pluto and everything. I mean, at this point, this month, these last couple months, Taurus has been hitting Pluto and different squaring a lot of things. And I think that that's been what everybody's kind of feeling, and they don't know it. It's possible.
Well, that's
And
making people think about their desires and what
right.
they want over their reason. They're
Yeah.
not
The
reasonable.
problem with Taurus is people don't want their status quo blown up.
But it's getting blown up. That's
That's
what I'm
getting
saying.
blown
Well,
up
Pluto will blow up the
because it
status.
needs to be blown up.
Well,
Yeah.
it's happening to everybody. So we're
In
all
many,
going a little nuts.
in many cases, yeah.
With
So,
retrograde Pluto in retrograde right now, it's a wonderful time to do the exploration and the soul work.
yes,
But
right.
like we spoke about when we talked about Pluto entering Aquarius, you're now seeing a division between people, those that will be responsibly dealing with their stuff and those who won't be. We
Yeah.
are now seeing a bigger divide because it gets lived out in our experiences.
It's
Well, that's what I'm
exactly.
seeing. The people that are and the people that aren't, and I'm like get stuck in the middle of that quite a few times lately. So
What do you think, Deborah?
Oh, well, I'm thinking in symbols. I'm thinking of Eris and her history and her being pissed off and at the patriarchy. And then I think about the patriarchy that we have in the four corners of the world. I mean, there's some patriarchs, I don't even know who they are in Africa and all over the place, but you've got Putin, you've got Netanyahu. Obviously, here we've got Biden and Trump, and a lot of idiots in Congress too, male idiots, and some female idiots like Marjorie Taylor Greene. But I think with Pluto and Aquarius, it came up earlier that Aquarius is more reasonable, is more likely to look at both sides. And I think maybe we'll start seeing both sides exposed. And with Eris pushing for the, for the recognition that she craves, that maybe this is the platform for Eris authority to have its moment.
That's a good thought. I could see Eris acting out of Taurus very easily.
Well, it's in Aries though, which is, aggressive, right?
Yeah, well, it's heading towards Taurus.
Okay.
Yeah, Liza has her hand in the air.
Everybody can hear me. I was thinking about when Neptune changed signs and all the work that Rick and I have done about the symbolism of that. And it was kind of like the disillusionment and disintegration of a lot of Neptune signifying those two words of institutions that we held dearly that started to crumble, then financial institutions, the churches, social institutions like the Boy Scouts. And also there were the day that Neptune went into
Pisces.
there was a tsunami that day. So I think that there were so many things that happened in the world at the time when Neptune changed signs, and I'm looking at what's happening as Pluto is going into Aquarius. It's been we have to look at the keywords for Aquarius, and it can be an overly analytical sign and an emotional sign, and looking at things from a very kind of idealistic perspective. And I think if you're looking at the negative side of that, you could look at the attraction of many people and groups toward fascism. But as we all know, as we kind of all think about Aquarius, it's very idealistic and for everybody. So I think there are two different sides to Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius, that we're looking at right now. There's definitely a tension in the world between democracy and more freedom and fascism. Just to be very blunt, people are using that word now. Also, there's a very, very much, especially in this country, but it affects the world, scrutiny of capitalism and money being in the world's wealth being in the hands of just a few people, versus trying to make sure that everybody in the world has adequate resources, enough to eat. And those two, the tensions between the fascism and democracy and capitalism, and what's the opposite of capitalism, is so apparent when you look at what's going on in the world today. So I think that that's something that we really have to keep an eye on. And since all of us who are involved in the show are really much about what's best for everybody in the world, we need to put our finger on the scales in any way we can in favor of people being treated humanely and having enough to eat and take care of themselves, and not be murdered over political issues, and do what we can to make the best Aquarian energy prevail, as Pluto's in Aquarius.
Very, very good. Very good. Susan?
Well, I'm just noticing that when Pluto went into Pisces in the 1500s, we were in the midst of the Protestant Reformation.
Oh,
You had the
boy.
beginning of the Catholic Church. And then in the 1790s, of course, the French Revolution had just happened, and the weakening of certain empires continues through the early 1800s. And still more imperialism. The British Empire kept building in strength. I don't know, Pluto in Pisces seems to be pretty good for Great Britain, lousy for much of the continent of Europe. And I'm not sure about here, if you could really tell yet. I mean, a period of revolution and early years in American history and the rise of the American states, the Indian Wars. Pluto and Pisces was not a good time to be a Native American, that's for sure. Yeah, so apparently large groups of people rise in power and other large groups of people are depleted power-wise. And with Pluto, I think I'd be looking at power structure.
Oh, it's definitely connected to the power of the masses.
Yeah.
Because it rules the underworld, and that is a large component of humanity. We all die. So we all
Also,
are
it's
able to be influenced by that.
it was the rise in democracy too. 1797 to 1822, 1825 really is
Well, and that
considered
was also throwing off colonialism and monarchy.
expansion of the vote in the United States. And I don't know. Yeah, I was expecting to see more religious stuff under Pisces than I'm seeing. So interesting. Power structures, shift in power, and what groups of people gain more power, maybe.
Sometimes the framework of the question gets the answers you're looking for. So when you look at the shakeup of the religious spiritual nature, look at how the age of reason would have coincided with that same time. There was an Enlightenment era that was ushered in. Immanuel Kant published some significant works at that time.
Yeah, moving through the 1820s. By the time Pluto gets into Aries again, you have the Second Great Awakening and the rise of modern Protestant sects in the United States, sure. And philosophies that lead us up towards World War II.
I think
Eventually.
we can expect to see again a shift that polarizes those who are spiritually surrendered and genuine and those who are charlatans and deceivers, false prophets,
Big one.
and people that care about actually surrendering and doing the work.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would stick with power shifts among groups of people. So the poor might gain more power at that point. It might be a huge rise in populism, or it might go the opposite way and be massive autocracy.
Go ahead, Peggy. I thought I saw some words trying to escape your lips.
We haven't heard from Sigmund yet.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm agreeing
hey,
with,
we'll get there in a second. Peggy is muted.
oh, no, I'm unmuted. Oh, let me see.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay. No,
Go ahead.
I'm just agreeing with everybody. I really like this channel or show because people here are very knowledgeable about history, things that I have never spent time learning. And I learn more from all these discussions that helps me think about how I can help other people. And I really enjoy listening. I don't feel that I can talk and offer as much as everybody else here. And I really appreciate the fact that I can participate in something like this. That's what I was thinking. And I'm enjoying listening to the knowledge that's everybody is offering. And it's helping me, in my own life. So that's what was going on.
What about Sigmund?
Well, when it comes to the planets, I'm just auditing all of this.
Oh,
And
it doesn't have to be about the planets.
yes, and what comes to mind is
Thank you.
that we have to accept not only what's good, but what's bad, what we don't like, what we don't want, what we don't think, we ... Because as Carl Jung said, what we don't accept comes out anyway, and we think that it's fate.
Very true.
So that's what I have to say about this tonight.
That's a good point. I'm wondering what force is going to come forth, how, in what shape, to lead us towards a spiritual revolution, i.e., a Gandhi-esque. You know, we got all these different movements, and we sure need something that's Gandhi-esque. Yes, Susan.
In that, Pluto in Pisces, the 1550s to 1578s, like the Elizabethan age, bringing Christianity to the far reaches of the world. So it's a spreading of Christianity.
Well, that did a lot of good.
Well, for
Yeah, I
England,
don't know that that's a popular thing because it was colonialism and
Big sword,
oppression of
bigger
indigenous people.
swords.
but it was also global travel for the first time, really a lot of global travel and the spread of trade and the rise of financial institutions. And then 1797 to 1822, you have the beginnings of steam travel and railroads, steamships and railroads. This is another huge revolution in transportation. I don't know, maybe 2044 to 2068 brings space travel.
Or maybe cleaner energy for our travel on the planet
Could be.
so we don't
Well,
kill it.
when are we going to see energy headed towards loving one another?
Can't look at previous cycles and see it anywhere, so you can't base it on the past.
I'm not saying that you can. I'm just saying we keep dancing around the number one issue, and I still don't see anything that's pointing in that direction.
Well, isn't Pluto going to be in Aquarius for 20 years, correct? And things that happen with Pluto in Aquarius will shape the things that put us on the edge, on the precipice of rethinking and re-evolving. And so I just don't personally, I'm a little confused trying to anticipate what will happen when Pluto goes into Pisces, when it will actually be informed by all that happens during its present stay in Aquarius.
I think that's a really good perspective because I like to look at the large planetary movements through their element. So I feel like the Pluto energy is renewing the airspace. The ideas are flowing, the thoughts are percolating. We're ripping off band-aids of goofy thoughts and trying to find sensibility. When we engage in that dialogue for 20 years, we're going to have a lot to think about. That I think at that point, with the Pisces energy of Pluto, we'll start to take it into our hearts and care about the outcome in a different way. I think that will be the progression that we see.
That's a very good point. Liza, you had your hand up?
I think I mentioned this recently on your show, but I think it's pertinent to what we're talking about tonight. I've been doing a lot of, well, I'm although lately I haven't been doing it. I've been a meditator for a number of years and have really been into Eastern spirituality and religion, and also for at the knowledge level of a social worker rather than a scientist, I've been following what's going on in the field of physics, quantum physics. And what I mentioned before is again relevant to what you're talking about tonight. I see consciousness and spirituality and physics, what I'm reading on all of those three fronts, really coming together to be actually one, a realization that all of those things are the same. And I think is kind of perfectly indicated by Pluto and Aquarius. And I think that we're going to be that type of talking about that and showing the correlations and the similarities in all of those three aspects of our existence is going to become much more well known in society. And is going, if that happens, again, I'm an idealistic Aquarian, but I think it's going to level the field in a lot of ways and show us that we have a lot more in common as humans than we act like that's the case now.
Thank you for sharing that. I enjoyed listening to what you had to say. That was very cool, Liza.
I agree.
It's hopeful.
Yes.
Come on, Erica.
Well, I guess I'm a little bit worried that if we do have a major war and we do have more of a climate breakdown, that all of these disasters will cause a lot of the capitalistic stuff. I'm not worried about that part, but I'm just what the impact will be. It'll just crash everything and people will have to start over again, and they'll just decide that they want to start with a clean slate and to do things in a different, honest way. And I'm just worried that it's going to take something like that to get us there.
Good point.
And then, it'll truly be the age of Aquarius, but we're not going to get there maybe without those birth pains and a lot of death and dying going on. So I don't like to talk about it too much because it sounds so dark.
Well, it's
But,
tough stuff. It's tough stuff. Well, I think what I'm going to do is cut the evening short. I've hung in there pretty good. But I think I'm out of gas. And I'm real glad I got to spend 50 minutes with y'all. And you will see this later on YouTube. I'm glad to see everybody again. I apologize for not having a real good mechanism to let you know when I won't be here, when I will be here. Still working on that, but I'm real glad to see everybody regathering once again. I will see you next week. One of the three of us will. And thank you once again for all the, yes, thank you for all the cards and all the emails I got from everybody. Appreciate it very greatly. And I'll see you all next week. I gotta get to learn how to do that. Anyway.
We love you.
We do love you.
Good night,
All right.
everybody.
You did a beautiful job. It was
Peace out for
wonderful.
now.
Good. And
Yep.
Shelby says goodnight.
Bye, Shelby. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Sweet
Good
dreams.
night, all.
Bye-bye.
Many blessings.
Bye-bye.